Good evening and thank you for joining us. After years of discussion surrounding what may have been this current City Council's legacy project, a vote last night means no further decisions will be made about a proposed indoor turf facility this term.
Discussions have been pushed until January of next year when a new council will determine the fate of the project. Vasilios Bellos reports.
Look where we are. The only thing that's gone up, besides the temperature, is the price.
It was an outcome that clearly caused frustration among councillors after a heated discussion lasting more than 2 hours. It comes after the city was denied $22 million in federal funds last month that would have supported the indoor turf project. While there were some expressions of interest from the private sector that council could have gone ahead with, both short and long-term solutions, they were in their very early stages, with many on council not comfortable taking that step.
In my opinion, we don't necessarily have a choice, or at least that's how I feel this evening when I read the report, because I don't feel like I've got enough information to pick one of these concepts. Quite frankly, we're whistling in the wind. I don't think there was enough energy around the table to make a choice.
The recommendation to push the decision to the next term came from administration, who said there were too many economic uncertainties at this time, including the unpredictable rise of inflation. Some councillors were interested in looking more into the expressions of interest, including Northwood councillor Shelby Chung, who believed it would have given the next council a head start on turf discussions. She was, however, extremely disappointed, as help was also given to the current council in 2018.
This was set up for this term of council to make a decision. We set you up for success. It was myself and Councillor Paul Pugh that put forward the resolution to make sure that this council had the information.
There was another big infrastructure decision on Monday as well, as one of the final steps to allow construction to move forward with the new Thunder Bay Art Gallery was voted through. Council approved the lease for the location on the waterfront and established the building as a municipal capital facility, exempting it from taxation for municipal and school purposes. Christine Bates is the chair of the gallery's board of directors and says the gallery does so much for the city.
I often say that the gallery is about so much more than what is hanging on the walls. We right now aspire to be a hub for the community. We are known as that. We have programming for all ages.
The decision by council comes around a month after the gallery received another $20 million in funding from the federal government. The planned opening date for the new gallery on the waterfront is sometime in 2025. Vasilios Bellos, TVT News.
Well, the turf facility wasn't the only controversial item on last night's agenda. Council also voted in favor of consolidating EMS bases on the North Shore and in Greenstone. The vote was unanimous despite vocal opposition from several municipalities leading up to the meeting. Jonathan Wilson has the details.
Many city council members admitted they were in a difficult position of making a decision that would affect other municipalities before voting in favor. The approval means EMS bases in Nipigon and Red Rock will be consolidated into one, with the same thing happening to the bases in Schreiber and Terrace Bay. And in Beardmore, the ambulance will be redeployed to Long Lac, with one paramedic remaining in Beardmore. The chief of Superior North EMS stressed this was not an easy decision, but it's what's best for all those they serve.
Whether it be City of Thunder Bay or the municipalities or the First Nations, that is my primary role here, is to ensure the service is available to everybody. And through these recommendations, I believe that is the best route for us to go.
One of the biggest reasons for these changes is severe staffing shortages experienced by Superior North EMS. Part of this new plan includes what's called a community paramedicine model, which will be crucial in communities like Beardmore, where the closest ambulance base will be almost an hour a drive away. Community paramedics can help with remote monitoring for things such as blood pressure, risk of falls help and assessment, assistance with medication, and more. Gates says this may actually be more beneficial to certain communities.
It may be done in partnership with the health clinic, with the Nipigon Hospital, with the Geraldton Hospital, primary care physicians. It really is going to be a team effort. And I honestly believe that they're going to end up having actually a higher level of service than what they get now, whereas almost 50% of the time we don't even have a paramedic in the community.
Municipal reps from some of the towns affected by the vote were in attendance for the meeting, with a few clearly disappointed with the decision. Mayor of Terrace Bay, Jody Davis, was there and felt the decision could cause issues in certain communities who are now competing for one EMS station.
A lot of animosity and division between the two towns where we're really trying to work together now, and that is really going to hurt the cooperation. So hopefully they will revisit it, because it is going to impact the communities of Terrace Bay and Schreiber negatively.
It was agreed that Superior North EMS will provide annual updates regarding the implementation of the plan. The first will happen during the third quarter of next year, giving the affected communities a chance to better understand the progress of these changes. Jonathan Wilson, TBT News.
The driver of a tractor trailer sustained minor injuries after the vehicle collided with a deer on Highway 102 this morning. Ontario Provincial Police say the incident happened around 5:15 near the Mud Lake Road intersection. The collision resulted in the tractor trailer losing control and landing on its side, spilling its cargo of floor joists. The male driver was taken to hospital for evaluation. Highway 102 was closed for several hours. One lane was reopened to traffic around 9 o'clock, and the highway was fully reopened in both directions by noon.
A Thunder Bay lawyer has had his license suspended for 2 months by the Law Society of Ontario. Ted Scully is also required to pay more than $27,000 in court costs. Back in March, the Law Society Tribunal found that Scully engaged in misconduct and conflict of interest during 2 commercial transactions between 2013 and 2016, when he was a partner with Erickson's LLP. The tribunal called Scully's actions deeply unsettling and says it broke the client's confidence and trust in the legal system.
A major change for Andrea Horwath. After 13 years at the helm of Ontario's NDP, she's now set her sights on another political prize, the mayor's seat in Hamilton. Austin Delaney has the details.
To announce that I am going to be joining the mayor's race to become the mayor of the city of Hamilton.
Surrounded by supporters, Andrea Horwath made it official today, saying after years in public service, she is the person for the top job in Hamilton.
That I have not only the experience, but the record of hard work and collaboration, things that Hamiltonians expect of each other and of their elected people. And I look forward to using everything that I've learned to help us realize the great potential that our city has.
Well, it's certainly exciting, and I'm really, really glad to be here.
Horwath's career in public service began in Hamilton as a city councillor in 1997, before entering provincial politics in 2004, and served as leader of the Ontario New Democratic Party for 13 years and 4 elections. In an emotional speech election night, Horwath stepped down as NDP leader after failing to form government.
It's time for me to pass the torch, to pass the baton, to hand off the leadership of the NDP. And you know what? It makes me sad, but it makes me happy, because our team is so strong right now.
Horwath says today she can now best serve as mayor of Hamilton.
I'm a collaborator. I pull people in. I listen. I create space for folks to have important conversations about where we're headed.
The race became wide open after Hamilton's long-serving mayor, Fred Eisenberger, announced he is no longer running. Premier Ford issued a statement today. As I said the day after the election, let there be no doubt that Andrea wakes up every day ready to fight for what she believes in. I want to thank her for her years of public service, both as leader of the opposition and as MPP for Hamilton Centre. As municipal elections approach, I wish all candidates across Ontario the best of luck. Horwath faces 3 other candidates for the mayor's job: former Mayor Bob Bertina, Keenan Loomis, and Labour advocate Ijaz Butt.
That was CTV's Austin Delaney. Nursing students are being called in to help at Ontario hospitals as the healthcare system grapples with major staffing shortages. Janice Golding is in Toronto with the details.
The urgent call went out to the University Health Network and peer hospitals before the weekend. An apology followed by a plea. I'm so sorry to write you about this again, but we are unfortunately experiencing severe shortage of staff at the Toronto Western Emergency Department. We will not be able to safely operate the TWH-ED if we are unable to fill nursing shifts this weekend.
Whoever can come and work. Please come work. All hands on deck. We're desperate. Can you imagine a GTA hospital that can't open their doors to the emerge?
The UHN was forced to use staff from other units, including medical residents, personal support workers, and nursing students. A statement from the hospital reads, "This wave of the pandemic is affecting staffing in all healthcare organizations. Healthcare professionals continue to rise to the challenge, but it has been a very long and hard grind, and people are tired."
I just think it's a travesty that many hospitals are short hundreds and hundreds of nurses.
I would be worried for emergencies for sure.
It's crazy that, we got to such a place where we're using students to fill such professional roles right now.
Toronto Western is not the first GTA hospital to be impacted by staffing shortages, with Brampton's Peel Memorial forced to shut down its urgent care centre a couple weeks ago. Although the majority of ER shutdowns in recent weeks have been at the province's smaller hospitals. The ONA says nursing shortages are a result of burnout after 2 years at the front lines, a lack of PPE at the outset of the pandemic, which led many nurses to quit or retire, and legislation which essentially caps pay increases at 1%.
Everyone is hanging by their nails right now on the edge of the table, just ready to slip off.
The UHN says the methods it employed over the weekend are short-term, adding it is working on longer-term solutions like digital health solutions and international recruitment.
The long-awaited repaving of the James Street Swing Bridge began today. The vehicle lanes have been riddled with potholes for the past year, despite having new asphalt when the bridge reopened in late 2019. Crews were repaving the southbound lane today after being delayed 1 week due to inclement weather. Work on the northbound lane is expected to take place within a week or so. Nearby residents say they are relieved to see the repairs finally underway.
I am so excited because every time you go over that bridge, I get scared because the car starts going bang, 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 like almost bang, bang, but you go really slow. But a few people don't know how to go slow, so you hear a few things.
It's about time. That's been long overdue. CN's got to get their butts into gear and start maintaining a lot better.
The bridge, which connects Fort William First Nation to the West Fort area, has been open to vehicles for less than 3 years following a protracted legal battle between CN and the city over the responsibility to maintain the century-old bridge. CN says it apologizes for the lane closures and inconvenience to the public while crews carry out the repaving.
Thunder Bay Police have charged a city man with animal cruelty after a Canada goose was beaten to death on the banks of the McIntyre River. Around 9 o'clock last night, police received reports that a group of males had mutilated a live goose and then threw the carcass into the river. A 23-year-old man has been charged with causing unnecessary pain, suffering, or injury to an animal and breach of a probation order.
Local soup kitchens and food banks are seeing the impact of inflation as more people are lining up to get a warm meal. In May and June, the Dewdrop Inn served more than 11,000 meals, which was just shy of a record. July has been no different, with the soup kitchen preparing an average of 400 meals a day. Executive Director Michael Kibel notes $1 doesn't stretch as far as it used to. He's seen a lot more people running short of money and forced to rely on soup kitchens for a healthy meal. The Dewdrop Inn's expenses are also going up. Kibel says he's grateful for the community support and donations.
We're well supported by the community. We are finding it's definitely more expensive now. So our food expenses have shot through the roof. But we try to provide a really nutritious meal. So adding nutrition comes with a high price to pay. And with the support of the community, we are able to do that.
Preliminary data provided by the Regional Food Distribution Association confirms there's growing demand at food banks as well, as nearly 2,100 families are now supported by food banks supplied by the RFDA, a 16% increase over this time last year.
A marvelous musical comedy will hit the Paramount Theatre stage starting tonight. The Marvelous Wonderettes is set in the 1950s. It's the latest fun summertime production from Badani Theatre. Jessa Clement gives us a sneak peek.
The Marvelous Wonderettes is a story of 4 friends as they navigate life while singing along to popular jukebox tunes.
Audiences will be brought down memory lane as the production features 27 classic hits from the 1950s and 60s, including Lollipop, Dream Lover, and Sugar Time. The play features a talented all-local cast of Amanda Comiso, Tega Monet, Jamie Morrison, and Catherine Nemec. Nemec plays Betty Jean and says she was drawn to the musical's comedy.
I like that it's just funny. You know, there's so much room to play around, and because there's only 4 of us, we get to work so intimately with one another. So it was a great opportunity to work on our comedic timing and some skills that we don't always necessarily get to work on in these bigger shows that we do sometimes.
The schedule for this play is a little different than most local theater productions. Instead of running mainly on weekends, Badani Theater decided to have this summertime play run only in the middle of the week.
We live in camp country, right? And everybody likes to go off to their camp during the weekend, and we figure the best strategy to ensure that people may want to come out to the theater is put on your air conditioning, run the show during the week. That way people can, leave their house, come out after work, and enjoy the show in the summer.
The Marvelous Wanderettes will be showing at 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, this week and next week at the Paramount Theater. Jessica Clement, TBT News.
More than a year after winning $1 million from Lotto Max, a large group of ticket holders are close to collecting their share of the big prize. 31 of the 63 winners are from Atikokan, and 3 of them are from Thunder Bay. They're all family and friends who buy lottery tickets together. But because 2 of the winners worked at OLG retailers at the time of the draw in June of 2021, the payout was delayed until now. Each of the winners will take home close to $16,000 when the money is paid out on August 22nd.
Well, Mitch, we had been